Hi, I'm Margaret Morales, Director of the Carbon Program here at Trellis Group. And today we're in our studio talking with Ellie Newnham, the Vice President of Operations at Carbon Direct. Hey, Ellie.
Hi, Margaret. Thanks so much for having me.
Maybe you could start by telling me about the challenges that you see companies face when they are moving into a growth phase and trying to set climate targets.
Yeah, we work with a lot of companies that face these challenges. One that comes to mind right now is, it's growing really rapidly, doubling year on year. And it doesn't necessarily have the framework that it can use to sort of anticipate what that growth will look like and mitigate against it in the next couple of years. And so it's really about saying, okay, what are the levers that they can pull today without overcommitting themselves to a future they're not 100% sure about yet. And that can be really challenging, and it's a good problem because you want your company to grow, but you don't want to sign yourself up for something that you can't deliver on as well.
Are there key factors that you recommend companies think about or take into consideration before they set a target?
Absolutely. I think it's really tempting to sort of want to jump in and set a net zero target, and that's fantastic. But, that then sets you up to have to figure out the rest later on. Instead, I think it's a really great idea to make sure you have a very clear understanding of what your emissions baseline is. This can uncover data limitations, systems that need to be set up, and give you visibility around what is driving your emissions as well. And then when you overlay that with your business objectives, you have an understanding of what that would look like if you were to just grow and scale out your baseline. I'd also recommend making sure that you're going deeper as well. What is your decarbonisation strategy, so that when you're setting your goals, you feel confident in the pathway to achieve them? And so that they're really complementary. They're not detracting from any of your business objectives.
Can you give me an example of a company that has done a really great job of integrating their growth plan and their climate strategy?
Yeah. We work with companies that do this in many different ways, and it's really about tailoring it to where are you up to in terms of your business, and what does that look like. So, one example, we're working with a company it's growing really quickly, also a climate-focused startup like Carbon Direct. Um, and the interesting thing about them is they're a remote-first company, so they're in the unique position in that they don't have any scope 1 or 2 emissions. So what they've done is they've really focused on getting better visibility of their scope 3 emissions and looking at the levers that they can pull to have the biggest climate impact, and being really well set up to measure the impact. Because for them, starting where a lot of other companies start with scope 1 or 2 isn't the right fit. So a great example of how they've tailored it for them.
Well, thank you so much for joining me in the Trellis Studio, and I look forward to our next chat.
Great. Thank you so much, Margaret.